Oh man, I low key hate when it gets hot outside. Really do.
Stop calling your brothers and your cousins for every little argument. Because you women sit on social media, you sit around, everybody killing everybody, but you never tell the truth that there's been 1,000 shootings and homicides trickle back down to you running your fucking mouth or you calling somebody and exaggerating because you feel disrespected. Stop calling people. You get in an argument with somebody on the block, that's it, leave it there. You call your brother, now these niggas going through it the whole summer, and then somebody child die about it. That's your fault. That's your fault. You can't sit back and say it's not your fault because they went too far. You shouldn't have.
First things first, good evening. Second, listen, if you are not a child of the ghetto, you might not be able to relate to this, but look, there's a low-key reason why I kind of don't like summer. I used to like it when I was younger, but the older I've gotten, the more I've disliked it, right? Reason being is because, molecules get to moving real quick in the summer. What I mean is, like, when it get hot outside, that's when everybody want to be outside. Everybody wants to do shit. And I have somewhat of a PTSD related to summertime because when the summer roll around, that's when, everybody start getting crazy and wanting to shoot motherfuckers. At least in Southeast Georgia. If you are a motherfucker from the hood, you kind of can understand this shit a little bit. But if you're not, you're not. And just sit back and enjoy the tale of my youth. All right? Look. There's been, I can't think how many times me and my cousins had beef with niggas over the summer, or over some shit that my sister said, over some shit that one of my younger cousins said, over some shit that my family members said. Like, okay, shootouts at the park were kind of a thing. Like, it wasn't like every day, but every now and then motherfuckers get drunk, get to fighting, somebody says something about somebody. Like, hood shit is stupid and it's different at the same time. Like, bruh, I can't tell you how many fucking times that I've had to have it out with a nigga over the summer behind some sort of woman, meaning like my sister, maybe my baby mama, just dumb shit. Like, it got so bad to the point where we would try to ditch my sister, like, from going to the club with us, because the way my sister would, like, turn niggas down, because, like, okay, guys try to talk to you at the club, right? When you in the, maybe most girls, like, they put guys down and be like, look, I'm not interested or whatever. When you deal with motherfuckers from the hood, they really turn you down in a way that makes you want to fight their ass. It's like, oh, you ugly motherfucker, you bitch ass nigga, you ain't got no money, like, the fuck, like, what you want to talk to me for? You ain't got enough money for me? Like, the way women in the hood put niggas down, it's some other shit, right? And it used to have us in a lot of times in positions where, like, my sister would say something, this nigga would come back mad at the shit that my sister said because he might have called him a bitch ass nigga. And now me and my cousins got to fight this motherfucker over some shit this bitch said. It's one thing if your homeboy loose at the mouth, right? If your homeboy is like the type of nigga that like to talk shit or whatever the case may be, at least you are a man and you can potentially hold your ground, all right? There's been times we done went to Southeast, them little holes in the walls, them little, if anything, like, okay, if I think we've been to we've been the clubs that were built out of old grocery stores. Like, them be the worst ones. Like, them real ratchet ghetto, like the club that's like in an old plaza or some shit. If you in there with one of them kind of clubs where it's only one way in, one way out, and some shit pop off in one of them motherfuckers, you in for a long night. But, like, having a homeboy that talks shit is at least better than a woman that talks shit because physically you can defend it. The shit that happens when you deal with a woman with a loose mouth is like, when she start talking shit, the shit that pisses a man off about it is like, bro, you not finna be the one that has to fight behind this shit. All right? You're just sitting here talking all this shit because you're drunk or whatever dude you talking to done pissed you off. Like, man, look, I was the motherfucker that was like the fighting kind of cousin. My cousin is the type of nigga that's gonna shoot motherfuckers. And if we gotta go get the whole family behind this shit, it's gonna really be a rough week for one of y'all, right? Now, granted, all of us done got old. We are in our 30s now. Even my sister is 30. And she don't do that shit the same way she used to. What I'm saying is, back when I was 21, she might have been like 18, when she used to sneak out to the club with us and everything. Jesus Christ. Like, that whole shit where motherfuckers want to be on bullshit all summer. Like, the thing I don't miss about Georgia summer is that motherfuckers get in this shit strictly because they're bored. Like, you could be in a life-threatening situation strictly off the strength that a motherfucker was bored that day. Down south, right? And maybe some of New York is like this. I would think the hoods in New York are like this. But the majority of motherfuckers down south, right? Especially in this day and age, niggas ain't fighting no more. All that fist fighting, wanting to like scrap in the parking lot shit, these young niggas ain't on that. Like, these new cats, they trying to get you any way they can. They not trying to fight fair. You showing up for a 1v1, these niggas got 5 niggas and they homeboys and 3 fucking hammers on them. Like, that's how they coming with it, all right? So if you sit in that thing and you finna like, look, basically what I'm getting at is be cautious about the type of woman you are allowing yourself to be around. Like, if this girl cannot handle her liquor, if she cannot handle her mouth, if she one of them kind of girls that like to scream at niggas in public, get the fuck away from that girl, because you will be collateral damage to a person that cannot restrain their motherfucking vocal cords every time a little bit of alcohol hit their system. A lot of these girls have boyfriends. Simp boyfriends at that, right? Meaning, these niggas ain't the type of niggas that's gonna come up to the, you know, let's say you get into an argument with a girl at a club or just on the block, or I would say at the park, per se, right? The park. There's a lot of times in the summer where shit hit the fan. You and this girl get in an argument for whatever reason. Her boyfriend pull up. You are now potentially in a situation where you could lose your life all based off because you were arguing with this bitch. Like, and I'm calling her a bitch because a lot of these girls, they start shit. Okay, the way women in the hood work, a lot of times they start shit because they know they got drug dealer boyfriends and they know their boyfriends got guns. Right? They're not like trying to be on no reasonable shit. It's not gonna be no shit where it's like, hey, you said something wrong to me, I said something wrong to you. It's not gonna be a conversation. And the majority of the time, most of these niggas that date these type of women, they're real bitch ass, dumb ass niggas. They don't give a fuck about shooting at you to prove a point. like a motherfucker will potentially try to kill you to try to defend his girlfriend's honor, even though his girlfriend is completely in the wrong. That's the type of shit you deal with one of these hood motherfuckers. Like, let's say you have a bad bitch, right? And I mean bad bitch in the sense of how she act, right? If you one of them girls, if you one of them dudes that, you know, that sells a slang dope or whatever, and you got the pasture princess, and niggas is all on your chick and everything, because that's the one you've been parading around the block, that's a bad situation too, because niggas are real jealous, niggas are real fucked up, and niggas are on real fuck shit. You know what I mean? And a lot of dudes will play under you to just try to get your girl. Like, sometimes I find that's why I find it hard to make friends, because I know a lot of times when it comes to like actual male friends, motherfuckers don't really mean me no good, really no good. That came from the hood. That mentality of me not want to be friends with nobody. Me and my cousin were talking about that earlier today. Like, he has associates. He doesn't really have too many real friends. Like, which is why he called me all the time with his shit, because it's like, the thing about niggas is like, you think niggas is there for you, you think niggas is cool with you because they in the bullshit with you. A nigga will wait till your ass go to work and be sliding up on your girl coming up over your house any kind of way. So, I mean, again, when this summertime shit hit, shit get to really going and hood operations are in full effect. Think about, like, street beef hits its height at the summer. Because you got to think, you got to be really pissed off with a nigga to beef with him in the winter. Reason being, because down south, motherfuckers don't necessarily come outside like that. Like, okay, 45 is like freezing to a down south nigga. So you gotta think, if you were coming outside in 45 degree weather to get your op nigga, you really wanted that nigga bad. But in the summer, it's like, okay, you and this dude beefing about whatever the fuck y'all beefing about. It's summertime. It's 90 degrees outside. It's hot. You sweating. Motherfuckers is barbecuing this shit. You drinking hot alcohol and shit. You got your Glock on you. You see this nigga, he see you or don't see you. You know what I mean? You able to blick his ass real quick because he not paying attention, or just vice versa of that situation, bro. Like, this street shit, like this summertime street shit is like a whole nother. Put it this way, I'm in a place in my life right now where I enjoy being around white people, Because when I'm around white folks, I don't feel like shit gonna hit the fan like that. When I get around my own people, I get paranoid. You know what I mean? Because if I see too many black folks, like, I know that shit's finna probably go down at some point. Like, you don't get a group of niggas at a park over a barbecue, you know what I mean, on some old wholesome shit. Somebody out there got a gun. Somebody out there cousin got a couple felonies. Somebody out there cousin done got out of jail and don't give a fuck about going back. Like, you gotta be aware of the type of environment that you're in and the people that you're in it with. Like, most motherfuckers I know that go back to Hazers, they don't stay there longer than a day. Like, we in there for a day, we saying hi to the parents that, you know, saying hi to our grandparents' parents, and we out the next morning. Because niggas ain't hanging around that shit. Most niggas from Hazers don't hang around the park. Most motherfuckers from Southeast Georgia, we don't go to them fucking heavy Chevy car shows no more. Motherfuckers be shooting that shit up. Like, basically the hood is just a bunch of shooting for no reason. Like, I don't know if it's, I ain't been back in so long, so I don't know what it's like, but from what I hear, because I got homeboys that are in it, it's actually getting worse. Like, whereas, like, you know, when I was younger, probably like 18, 19, it might have been one or two dudes that had guns. Now that I'm 34, it's like, in the way the culture is shifted, everybody got one. Like, if you get in a 1v1 fight versus a nigga in the park or something like that, and it was only a fist fight and you was able to go home that night, you had a good day. Like, if you get into one of these after hour parties, or you go to a motherfucking Waffle House after the club, if you got into a fist fight at a Waffle House at the club and just left and went home with a couple bruises, you had a good day. Because these niggas in this day and age, they is shooting this shit up left and right. They don't give a fuck. And shit, the way these niggas is now set up, they shooting at women. So y'all ain't even safe no more. Whereas, like, you know, when I was younger, it was like, look, no women and children, don't fuck with them. If it's me and two niggas, we only gonna get at each other. These niggas don't give a fuck about crossing whatever line they gotta cross to get at you on some bullshit. Like, what was it? This past weekend, we went to the Italian festival. The weekend before that, we went to the Taste of Buffalo, right? The thing I like about these little get-togethers up here, these cops up here be on it. Like, that was the one thing I did catch when I was, like, walking around it. Like, it's like police walking within the crowd and shit. Like, back in Georgia, like, it might be a fair go on, right? Ain't no police or no security walking in that motherfucker. It be the same thing in the clubs. Like, if you got enough money, motherfucker let you bring that gun in. Like, you got enough money or you know the right people, motherfucker will let you bring that Glock 40 in. They don't care about none of that. Like, when you go to these little events sponsored by these white folks and the city got to pay their money for that, and that's taxpayer dollars and all that other shit, with these awnings and tents and there's children there, and, you know, it might be a clown juggling some bowling pins or some shit. These motherfuckers ain't, you pull a stunt like that, you shoot somebody up or you start a street beef at one of these little events out here, your ass is gonna be sitting in jail until the judge see your ass on Monday. Like, and New York is not one of them places, they don't play about them guns. Like, see, down south, everybody can have a gun, and even if that's the case, like, okay, if I went back, I can get me a gun in like a week and a half. And even if I wasn't like a motherfucker, even if I wasn't getting it legal, I know people that can get me the shit illegally and scratch the serial numbers off the motherfucker. Basically what I'm saying is, I don't mix in with the wrong crowds anymore. I'm 34. I ain't got time to be beefing with a nigga. That's like, okay, at this point, when I get into it with somebody over some street shit, I'm prepared to go all the way with you, because I try to live a very white life now. I don't get involved in none of that bullshit. I'm not mixed in with none of that nonsense. Like, that was the one thing that was, like, very apparent to me when I was in these festivals. It's like, damn, the chances of me being in a fist fight are very low. Like, motherfuckers is out there with their children, motherfuckers out there with their families. Like, folks out there trying food, drinking slushies, like, just having a good time. And it's like, a lot of times, like, the way I grew up, even if motherfuckers was doing some nice shit, it was with street niggas. So it's like, you couldn't never really get too comfortable, even if you had friends there. Like, if you got friends there, they got friends there. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers get to drinking, and then they outside on, like, standing and twerking. Bitches is twerking on top of the Chevys and all this other bullshit. Like, I don't miss that life, man. And it's just like, you know, when I do these festivals and I go out and do these little things with these white folks, I'm not friendly, because it's hard to get past that barrier of being friendly. I don't care to be friendly to motherfuckers, because I'm not the friendliest person. I'm just not. But I do feel a sense of like, I don't think I'm gonna get killed today. Like, and that within itself to me is personally worth it. So I'm gonna go make me a drink, not like a drink, just like a juice or something. Probably sit here on my big screen TV and watch the Twilight Zone or something like that. Like shit like that. Like being able to just come home and it be quiet. You got pets. I got a fish now. Like that shit to me is so far removed from the shit that I came from that it makes my appreciation for it a little bit different. Know what I mean? It's taught me to really value life. So I mean, again, I'm feeling like sit here and do nothing. My girlfriend's at work. It's quiet. You know what I mean? And quite honestly, I relish in this shit at this point in my life. I'm in my 30s, and I am so grateful that I made it here. So, y'all have a good evening. Just haven't made a video in a while because I've been busy all week. You know, went through a lot of shit with the job, but whatever, man. Y'all have a good day.